Today I have my guest Anna Boone, once again, to invite her to be my guest to share something interesting. Now, before we start, please share, like, and subscribe. If you like what we're sharing. So the purpose of the channel is we want to share some hot tips for those who is interested in development. Because I think in our professional, I've been an architect for over 25 years, in residential and commercial market, and we've seen a lot of interesting stories. Like maybe before I start, Anna, just a quick introduction about yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much for your invitation today, Vincent. I'm working as a commercial real estate agent, and I've been working with commercial real estate group for a year. And I starting as residentials and then moving to the commercials. My experience, I have more than 10 years experience from overseas and local.
Very experienced.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now I think in both industries, we come across a lot of developers, and we know, we see, what's behind the scenes, and of course, developments, if they work, make money, we clap our hands, well done, developers. But often we find that a lot of developments get stuck, unfortunately. So today, what is the projects that you want to share with us?
Oh yeah, very interesting property, and it's a very very good property and a very good locations, and located in southeast suburbs. So
Of Melbourne, is it? Southeast suburbs of
southeast.
Melbourne, yeah?
Yeah, Melbourne, yes, correct. So and it's located in the main road, near the amenities, walking distance to the train stations,
Mm-hmm. No.
and especially it's a commercial zone 1. So very very good. You can have a shop on the ground floor, and you can have apartments upstairs.
Okay. Yeah, I can see now. Maybe the screen is a bit small. Actually, we loaded at the back of behind the TV, but we will show it later on. So now this, I can see that it is the ground floor. It is the commercial shops, 4 shops,
Yes.
and upstairs got 1, 2, 3, 3 levels on top.
Yes.
Looks beautiful design too.
Yeah.
Looks
And
good.
low density is really good. But what is the interesting part that if you can't you it's about the space wise.
What's
So
wrong
you're
with this
looking at
project? Looks very attractive.
Yeah, you go to the ground floor where the shop is. Look at the height; it's really high. So do they
Why
need?
is high? What high is high? What do you mean?
Yes, about I think 4 meters to 5 meter height, right?
At the ground floor?
Yes,
the
on the ground floor. The
yeah.
question mark is actually, do you need that high to run a retail shop?
I think you explained, right, that they need higher space because these jobs actually they don't have a basement,
Yes.
and they have car stacker. I think
Yes.
that will contribute to the ground floor why
Yes.
it is 4.5 meters high. Yeah?
Yes, because of the 3 level of car stacker, so that's why they need to actually to fit in all the residents on the upstairs and including the shop as well. So if they can have a basement, will be works so much difference.
So I think the story, what happened is that this buyer want to offload it to the market, right?
Yeah.
Apparently. I think you can share a bit of story. So once the owners put it to the markets, and there's a lot of comments from other developers and builder. What are the comments?
The main comment is actually is why the whole why is actually they need such a big numbers of height. So like each level of apartments and the shop, why they need 3 meter heights on the apartments and
3 meters high
Yes.
on apartments. So
Yeah.
normally it's only 2.7.
yeah.
Why this owner want to bump it up to 3 meters? Because literally,
So
it's not necessarily
because they
increase the
want-
construction
The
cost.
whole reason is because the owner who own the property is actually he has a dreams to have living in a small space while you have you have living in a bigger space when they
Okay.
have a
I
bigger
see
high
what you're
ceiling.
saying.
But the question mark is, are you building for yourself to use it, to
Uh-huh.
live in, or you actually build it to sell it?
I think also another point is I do agree to stay in apartments at higher ceiling, but if it's like more expensive suburbs
Yes.
in Paran,
Yes.
South Yarra,
Yeah.
then I think
Yes.
it's fine to have 3
Look,
meters
yeah.
ceiling,
Yes.
right, for the apartments, right? But probably not the suburbs that for these projects.
Yes, so that's a big consideration is actually what types of buyers that we focus on, and then who will be buying in that location. So having a luxury products, would you be possible to sell in
The price
locations that with the price doesn't actually
Yeah.
not attractive? So can you sell higher in that particular area? That's a question that we have to ask ourselves. By having another level on the top, increase the number of apartments, and having a basement will be you will increase your profit and will be more attractive to a developer as well.
Maybe I quickly run through, just let the listeners understand this project a little bit more. Look at, I'm showing them the ground floor plan. They have 4 shops here,
Yep.
and the car stacker behind. Now, I tell you honestly, I know a lot of people who live in apartments
Yep.
with car stacker and they don't like it.
Yeah, think about the maintenance. Seems is very nice, but what happen if one person on the top, where they park their car, they actually in hurry to go to work, but was not working, and then
Oh, I think it happens a lot, and
Yeah.
I heard a lot of horror stories. That friend of mine lives in an apartment.
yeah,
The car stacker was broken, and the body corps actually no money
yeah,
to spend to fix up the car stacker. End up,
Yeah.
she doesn't have the car park she used
yeah,
for more than a year,
yes.
and there's a lot of stories about problems of car stackers.
And also another thing is actually is about the maintenance fees for the
Oh,
car
it's a lot
stacker.
higher. You
Do
affect
you-
the body corp
Yes.
price, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, the body cost will be higher. And think about as a resident, would you like to pay more for the body cost?
Nah, I think this is harder. It's a lot harder, definitely. I think if it's a choice, right, of a basement parking
Yeah.
or a car stacker, and I think nowadays a lot of people will opt, to not to have car stacking.
Yeah.
Self-stacker.
Only if we must have a car stacker because that development is actually located in a very limited space and in a very high high end area. So you might have only about 4 apartments in that buildings, and because of that will be making more sense that you're having a car stacker in there. But if having more than 20 apartments,
Nah,
would
it's
you
hard.
need that for?
No, it doesn't work. I think if it's more numbers, I think it's harder. If there's 1 or 2 units, I think people still can accommodate.
Yeah.
Once you have more units, I think I think the market wants a proper parking. So I think it's a catch-21, isn't it? For developer, I'm looking at
Yeah.
just maybe sum up, the problem of this development. As you can flip through this, the apartments layout looks okay,
Yeah.
looks quite good, quite normal. But the only thing is, I think what you mentioned about the 3 meters ceiling heights for apartment for probably I would say lower end, lower end. Of this type of apartments, I don't think it's wise because it jacked up the construction costs. Number 1, and number 2 is you will build probably 1 less level.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's 4 levels. I think potentially I heard
You
that
can you can go for 5 level.
some developers can do like 5 levels with 1 basement. I think it would just change the whole dynamics,
Yeah.
the probabilities of the whole project's return,
Yeah.
isn't it? So I think to sum up, right, the hot tips that what we can give it to the developers, once again, is I think the first one is do your due diligence properly with your designer and your real estate agents. Number 1. Number 2 is to know your market, what the market wants. The market wants doesn't necessarily limit it to how many bedrooms, the market price, but I think even including the level, how high is the apartments, they need to know a little bit more details. Whether your market love car stacker or basement parking. And number 3 is you need to know, once again, the consumer. Once you set the price points, what are the options in the market? last but not least is like you really need to know the construction costs. You know, car stacker is also not cheap too, right? Car stacker.
Not cheap. Depends to quality.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and work out your profitability. Yep. All right. So thank you for the hot tips, Agnes, and bringing these interesting projects. I hope all these stories will help the developers, to not to repeat those mistakes, and helps you to maximizing your profit, because those decisions are not a couple of $1,000 decision. You are literally talking about a couple of $1 million decision here. So I hope that that will help you to make some better decisions. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Anna.
Vincent.
Until next time. See you. Bye bye.
See you.